Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another day of Trading Garage. Good to see everybody in this morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. And looking forward to another interesting day. Once again, we're going to look at the timings of the markets with, something else probably. We'll see what we can find to play with. Welcome back, everybody. All right, let's kick around the charts today. See where these cray things are going. Well, crude, fancy that. Looks like the weekly resistance levels are actually not working out too badly. We're seeing the market stops. Each bar kind of stops at the weekly levels, and we see that the $130 a barrel. So we've really quickly, this is a typical pattern 5 breakout trade over on a weekly chart. When we see a pattern 5 breakout trade, it tells us that we expect the underlying trend to go up until the next signal. So it's a trend continuation move. That means we're likely to see these things continue higher till the end of April. So we've got another 6 weeks of this mess before we see our next significant pullback. So the timing says on the weekly chart, watch for the move up into April. I didn't really expect to move that quickly between the last two zones. So we marked 117 and then we marked 130. And the market pretty much covered all of that yesterday. So that's volatility again, once again, off the reservation. There's just no rhyme or reason. 95 up to 115 last week, saw a $20 per barrel increase in 1 week. That is probably the single largest increase that we have seen in the price of crude. You know what? Maybe ever in the recorded price bars. I don't see it. We've never had that is the record, actually. Isn't that special? So last week was a weekly record for the amount of price gain in 1 7 or 1 5 day trading period. So last week was a record. Never happened before. Interesting. I'm looking way back. And again, the top of our last major trading range was all the way up here at 130.98. So the market, I thought we would stop in the middle, and we did. We paused, stopped that was basically the end of last week's bar. And then as we came into Monday, the market obviously launched up again, and we have now covered the entirety of the range, which is interesting to me, because typically when we get a range like this, the market will bounce between it. Now, it's not really, I guess, in retrospect, it's not a surprise that the market went all the way to the top of the range and paused yesterday. So it launched up, they kind of ran out of steam, see what everybody's going to do, and they have paused. We have an outlier. I don't have any other data. I mean, I know at one time we were at $200 a barrel, but I mean, that was back in, I don't even have data going further back. So I got to figure out how to get more data than 2008. Something around 2006 would probably be a good reference point, but I just don't have data for it. For those of you guys running TradeStation, or for those of you guys who are running eSignal, you probably can get data further back. I just can't get any daily data to go further back than what I have. So I got to live with what I got for now. Looking over, I'm going to mark this level. I'm going to pull another one up and I'm going to mark right there, which if we look at it from a geometric standpoint, it's fairly even spacings, which I don't really know why that's relevant, but sometimes the market does those things. We have this move up. We paused very briefly at the $95 barrel mark. Then the market took this move up. Again, notice the geometry, very consistent geometry. Then the market took this move up, still very consistent geometry. I didn't make these levels up. I'm just simply identifying where this market moves into them. And the interesting thing to me is now look at this geometry. Fascinating, right? So you guys may not find that fascinating. I do. So the weekly chart is showing us that historically the market has been moving in fairly solid increments once it finally got away from some of the stuff way down here. So the market down here in the bottom, we've got a zillion daily levels. If we removed a bunch of them, we'd probably see it probably see a similar pattern. So with this crazy geometry coming back into play, that means 144 is not a surprise. And just because, again, I don't have any data above here, but it makes sense to me that if the market is responding well to the technical levels that we're looking at, it makes sense to me that we probably would go one level even higher. And this would probably be our next stopping point up. Now we can do Fibonacci projections and we can do other stuff, but I find that if you just look at what the market price itself is telling us, that oftentimes that would be a pretty strong number. So we're going to see how this thing continues to roll itself out. Wow. I mean, just wow. So that takes us up to 157. If we get above there, I guess we'll just put another level. I wish I had more data over here to play with, but at the moment I don't. So I might see what I can do about getting some more, because again, I kind of want to know. All right, and we'll see where we end up going. So I have two other projected levels above our current location. Actually, I have two more above us. Right now, we did push up and the market stopped within a couple of pennies of the 130.80 level that we identified last week. And so yeah, so we've shot up and we whacked the hornet's nest up here. Now we're going to see what the market continues to do. Favoring long, obviously, we're going to be favoring long on our weekly chart until the end of April. So till April 29th, we're going to be looking for buying opportunities here on the weekly. See if we can get a pullback into a buy. If the market were to pull us back down into 116.92, then we can pick up a buy off that. I don't have anything in between yet anyway. Let's look at a daily, see if a daily helps us or hurts us. All right. Oh, what this chart's gotten messy. What a mess. All right, so okay. Where's my next signal? 325. We got till the end of the month. Nothing to do between now and then except watch it go up. So yesterday we saw the market push up, whacked the upper resistance level based on our weekly chart, came right back down again. As of this morning, we did hit that 117 price before we got here, and market came and hit it early, finding support as expected, and I would expect we'll push right back up into 130.105 again. I have nothing else on this chart. I have nothing to help me out until at least a week or two. So favoring long. There's nothing else on here. I just don't have, there's too long between signals and I don't get anything. All right, so there was our daily level last week. Drew the arrow, boink, there it went. We still have 2 more days in this bad boy. We got all day today and all day tomorrow. And obviously we're gonna continue moving up. So nothing on our daily either. So today is kind of a blah on a higher time frame. So I'm not getting any help from them. Look down to the hourly, which is crazy at the moment. So looking at our hourly chart, I drew last week stuff. $2 Oh, that's why we don't have, we came into a buy zone here. Right there would have been the low, and the high was right there. So the market came into a new buying zone. We do not have an end to it yet. So this is currently in perpetuity. So because of the structure of the market, it's come nowhere near crossing back over zero again. So at the moment, it looks like our high, This is actually identifying a continuation up on the hourly for the next 2 weeks. So the next 2 weeks have us in buying power zones on the hourly. That seems a little excessive, but I don't make it up as I go. I just follow along with what we got. So favoring longs for the next 2 solid weeks on the hourly at this moment. Could go even more, but right now it looks like 2 more weeks. It's actually really good for my crude stock, which is nice. It's really bad for my gas pump prices, which is really not nice. So we'll see how that works out. All right, so favoring longs, as we're coming into today, we will have a buying opportunity. And as we're coming into 12 o'clock today, we're going to be looking for a buy opportunity up into 11 o'clock tonight. So if we get a pull down into high noon, then we're going to look for a bounce back up. We do have our support level right below us. That is the current swing low on the hourly. Also is identified at 117.08. We'll see where we go. Favoring long. Down to the 30. See if the 30 minutes any different. Wow, look at that gap in the market. Huge. Big old gap going on right there on the crude. Biggin. We covered the gap last night. It actually came all the way back and filled it as of 9:30 yesterday morning, almost to the penny, and then shot right back up again. So they did fail. They did fill the gap, but yeah, about that. 10 o'clock here. We put in a pattern 5 on the 30. Swing high was there. Swing low is down here. We are so far above it, it's almost not helpful. And the 30-minute, similar to the 60, the 30 is not quite like the 60. Let's rescale the chart just to make sure. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. So the 30-minute is not quite in agreement with the 60 at the moment. 30-minute says we're going to be long until Tuesday, Wednesday. It says we're going to be long until Thursday morning at 3:30. So for the next 2 days, we're long. But it says Thursday morning at 3:30 is our next major trend reversal projected. So till then, just long. So for the next 2 days until Thursday morning, favoring the up, we're going to go out the top. If we get a pull back down to 10 o'clock this morning, then we'll get a nice little punch off of there. Otherwise, 10 o'clock is going to be a pattern 5. So hang 10 o'clock, big reversal coming. We'll see what the price structure is when we get there. Up, 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 down to the 15. And on our 15-minute, let's go ahead and scale it so it's not wonky. Very technical trading term there. All right. The 15-minute has us long until Friday. Actually, I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong because this is today. So today's Tuesday, Wednesday, also Thursday morning at 2:45. All right, so the 15-minute has us on the buy side till 2:45 Thursday morning. And we are so far above the top, it's not even funny. So looking for buying opportunities on the crude till Thursday morning, 10 o'clock. This market's going to be off the chart. If we should get a pullback down, again, we do have nice weekly support. I have no other support resistance levels in here at the moment. We haven't been here in so long. There's just nothing here. So I don't have anything looking at. We'll do our regular thing, but we'll see where we go. So up, up, up. Everything is pointing up on crude for the rest of the week, basically. Earliest pullback on a trend reversal is not showing on the higher time frame charts. It's not showing right at this moment until Thursday. Isn't that special? That chart looks funky. Oh, that's a beautiful little move right there. Okay. Let's see if I can get close enough to grab a box from last week. Otherwise, I'll make new ones. But I've got so many on here. Ninja Trader gets a little freaky if you get too many. Pull this one in our lower time frame. Anything, obviously, anything that is a sell trend in the next 3 days is going to be counter trend to all the higher time frame charts. So at least we kind of know. All right. Well, the 3 minute also looking up for a while. Isn't that special? This one's been a little back and forth action, starting it off. So we started off way back here. Let's go ahead and get the zone drawn correctly, and then we'll talk about it. Oh, wasn't that pretty? Huh? Beautiful. Look at that. Man, I wish we were here for that. No, they always happen in the overnight. Well, they don't always, but sometimes. Talk about pretty. Wow. Pattern 4 range expansion. The last bar of the pattern 4 whacking weekly support. Oh, to the almost to the penny. We would have bought it right there, sure as the world. Watch for the move back up to the dot price. Man, what a nice clean move to the penny on that weekly level. Man, that was sweet. All right. Lamenting time is over. Now we go to drawing zones. So another one of those weird places. Man, look at there. Don't. Well, it is what it is. I would like to dispute it, but you know what? It doesn't help if I do, because it always wins in the end. We were inverted for a period of time. The market closed 2 bars below pattern 4. It did manage to get back up and close back above again. So in the overnight, this thing's been back and forth. Last night, it is still in play all the way into today. And let me get the level established. This one's going to be on the buy side until high noon today. So until 12:09 all day today says we are favoring the buy, the long. So any pullback is just a deeper pullback and the opportunity to get buying again. All right, there we go. So as scary as it sounds, volatility right now is only 71 cents per bar. Wow, only 71 cents per bar. I don't know how we do it. That's better than the 140 that we had that one day last week. But right now we're sitting at 71 cents per bar. You're going to see, we're expecting to see a first major reversal to come back down a little bit starting around high noon today. 12:09, we're going to watch for the move back down to 2:30 to 3 o'clock, all the way into basically 4:15. It gets very choppy. So we don't have a lot of any kind of a trending expectation through there. We are still favoring the longs. We're so far above the top of the zone that it's almost not useful. And the zone wasn't huge. It's left over from 9 o'clock last night or 8 o'clock last night. If the market does pull back down to this price, we'll be looking for buying opportunities off of it. Until then, favoring long. We're just buying until, again, high noon today. If we get a pull back down into 845, we can pick up a buy opportunity. 833, if the market were to push all the way down between now and 836. If that were to happen between now and 836, and if we hit 121, I know you might be saying there's no way. Well, we've gone from 121 to 124 in that same period of time. So that's 400 pips. So, but if the market were to pull back 400 pips and hit this price, and if it hits that price in the next 6 minutes, I'm a buyer. So there you go. I can't even believe I'm putting it on there talking about it. That's a long freaking way. It's mind-boggling how far this market's moved. All right, so again, extreme caution is the word of the day today for that thing. Woof. All right, monitor it here on another chart. I don't think we're going to get there, but I'm going to let it sit there for 6 minutes just in case. Looking at the Russell, where are we? So the Russell, we pulled up last week into the sell. Off the sell signal, we saw the extension down, right back down into this Thursday. So we are going to be favoring the short on the Russell until Thursday. As we're coming into Thursday, we're going to see if the market pushes us back up into the end of the month. For today, we are on the short side. We do have resistance just above us at 1987, and we'll see if the market pushes on down from there. Have anything else on this chart? Not really. I got a whole lot of nada. So we're starting to enter a range down here where I don't have a lot to look at. If I look back on my chart, don't have anything back here. We stayed in that range up there all year last year. Let me do this. If you guys are bearing with me for a minute. Let's see what else we got. That actually is perfect. So we got a cycle level there. If I move on down, we got one here. Those are awfully tight together. So 1, 2, 3, they were awfully close. The one below it is here. And then we're going to have one further down than that. CV. We'll have another daily level down to here. What I'm doing is I'm going through on our daily chart and I'm marking the open price lines. And on the current one here, we can see that this one is the open price line from the sell signal back on 12/28 of last year. Or is that this year? No, that was last 2020, 12/28 of 2020. So 2 years ago. And I also have a buy signal here. That these again, I didn't mark them at the time because, well, we didn't need them. We were pushing up. Now that the market is giving the pullbacks and we're starting to get below the range that we've been in for the last year, almost year and a half, I'm looking for where the significant support and resistance levels are on the downside. Oftentimes the market will return to the open price lines of these levels. Yeah, that one's there. Oftentimes it'll come back to the open price lines if it hasn't tested them. And we see this one actually got tested again. This sell signal from back here never did. So that's an untested level at 1727. So we'll see where we go from there. All right, so we're starting to get into one of these crazy little ranges. Again, there was last year. It was a mess. We made some money off of it, but we stayed inside of this junk area forever. And now we are breaking out of it and the world's losing its mind. So we're going to see where it continues to roll to. That means, oh, that's cute. I didn't realize that that was actually a support level. I thought it was below everything. Well, it wasn't below everything. The market just retested the 1888 level. And again, I just drew that one. I didn't know it was even there. So that one came from way back here. It's now on the chart. So now it makes sense as to why the market stopped where it did 2 weeks ago. And now we're going to see where it goes. So that level now makes a lot more sense than it did back at the time. I thought it was a punch through. It was not. It was a retest. It was a retest of a previous price level. Okay. So we're going to see where they go. Nothing else really on this chart to help us out. I don't see a thing. So we've got some nice gaps, support, resistance levels in place, favoring short until Thursday. Looking at the standard Russell daily, I did not come back and mark this one because, well, wasn't here. So this was Thursday afternoon at the close. The market did close below the controlling bar range. So as of Friday, sorry. Thursday, we closed inside the range. Friday, we closed below the controlling bar range, indicating as of Friday, we are going to go down for the remainder of the run, which is we still have 2 days and 8 hours. So we have all day today, all day tomorrow, all day Thursday. That means the Russell has now picked up a Friday cycle. So now we're going to be moving down into Friday. So let's see how the market rolls, favoring short on the daily cycle until Friday. Yay. Short, short, short. Short, 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 short. All right. Okay. Well, that's not much time in between. All right, if I look at my hourly, I'm looking for moves where I can identify a trend over a period of time, and oof, I don't really get much of it today, do I? All right, they came into the sell at 4 o'clock this morning, and it was a pattern 4, wasn't it? Sure enough, bam. So the market, well, technically, by rules, the power zone missed being a pattern 4 by 2 ticks on an hourly chart. It was a pattern 4 off the 1 o'clock in the morning chart. There's the 1 o'clock down to 2. 2 o'clock was a brand new low. Pattern 4, that one was out question. Pattern 4 right back up into 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock, the swing high is, oh my gosh, up here. The swing low is now a new one in place. And it was going to be in play until, well, 7 o'clock. So it was too close to even call it a power zone. So these are just too close to call. There's not enough time in between any of these signals to reasonably identify it as a trend move. It's just not enough time here. I'm going to mark them, but I'm probably not even going to look at them again because there's just not enough time. Again, the entire premise with this particular methodology is you need to see the market movement over at least 10 bars. So 10 bars is kind of like my minimum. Otherwise, I'm just looking for 4s and 5s, an extreme touch move. And if it's not a 4 or 5, then this is worthless. This is not helpful at all. So today is not helpful. I don't get anything for our normal trading day today. So my 1 hour chart on the Russell is not helpful. Not do anything for me. I do get a little something today at 3 o'clock this afternoon until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And even tomorrow is almost as bad. So looks like the longer duration move starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Intraday today on the 1 hour is a mess. I don't have anything to it. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Bat crazy. There are some people in the world who are bat crazy. Wow, that was one. All right, I'm sorry. I digress. Woof. Phone call I wasn't expecting, and she's bat crazy. All right. It's hard to be a nice guy sometimes. Very difficult. All right, let's see where we are over on the 15. The 1 hour chart, quick recap, the 1 hour chart is awful. It's just terrible. So right now I don't have any help from it. Not enough time between signals for it to really be useful. Looking down to our 15, we are in a buying zone at the moment. The market came into this buying zone at 5:30. This buying zone is going to last till 9:15. Then we're going to come into a sell zone. We do have a current high and a current low, which are much closer to the market price than the previous buy zone low. And we are expecting to see the underlying move back down until 2:30 this afternoon. As we're coming into 2:30 this afternoon, I don't have a clue what the prices are going to be, but they're going to be somewhere. We'll just remark them when we get there. But 2:30 this afternoon, we do get a little bit longer duration move. This move is expected to last us until 5:15 tomorrow morning. So it looks like the longer term, cleaner trend move of the Russell is going to start this afternoon, longer duration move. For the morning, we are going to get a 9:15. We're going to have a double dot sell off that 9:15 sell. We'll see if the market puts in a new low. If we get a brand new low, alpha 9:15, brand new low would be qualified by anything below 1950. So if the market pushes down to 1950 or lower at 9:15, then we are going to end up with a pattern 4, which is going to pull the market right back up again. So there, we're close to the extreme. We're in the area where it could happen. So let's see what happens if we come into right there. Keep a close eye out for this one. Watch for an extreme move at 9:15. Looking over to the 5 minute for our entry opportunities today. Go ahead and rescale the chart so that all this crazy all this crazy coding isn't going bananas. All right. You can do this, boy. All right. You ever get into one of those phases in the morning where you're looking at the chart and you're thinking, I can't focus? You're having a hard time focusing? I know it probably never happens to any of you guys, but some mornings it does me. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw, although it's not a surprise, but when I saw diesel fuel hit $5 a gallon here over the weekend, I was like, what just happened? That was unexpected. So as quickly as it happened, how about that? It's startling how quickly gas prices in my area have changed, and they rattled me a little bit. I'm getting ready to go to do a bunch of road work at the island next week too, and it's like, really? That's going to be an expensive trip. All right, back to reality. All right, so we are on we started off this morning at 455 on a buy signal. The market came down and we whacked to the bottom, shot it right back up again, coming right back down again. Pattern 4 at 8:20 this morning, not a tradable pattern 4. The market gave us a pull right back up. And as we're coming into 9 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. Don't have anything else to do. Whoops. Control C. As of 9 a.m., we are going to come into a selling zone in our entry level chart, and we're expecting to see a move to the downside until 10:10. So 9 a.m. until 10:10, and the range got bigger. Right there's our bigger range. Watching for a little buy action off the other side. The one that we're in now, it is closing out. So I'm just going to steal it, bring it forward. Current market range is here to here. All right, and looking forward, again, this is our current range to play with, right there into right here. Ching. All right, well, let's see what we get. Looks like the 5 minute after 10:35, the trend is going to be down pretty much the rest of the day. We do expect to see a pullback late in the afternoon after 2 o'clock into 3:15. So we may be watching for some pullback action there, but otherwise, again, we'll have to redraw the zones as we get to them. Otherwise, we are going to be looking for a buy opportunity late in the day, not much between them. The predominant part of the day, or the dominant part of the day, not predominant, the dominant part of the day, we are going to be looking at shorts over on the 5. So everything on the Russell here, buys on the 15, I guess buys on the 1 hour, blah, blah, blah. Not much to see, and the buys on the 15 ends at 9:15. So basically after 9 o'clock today, we're going to be looking for shorts most of the day by a long shot. Next selling opportunity comes at 9:30. Not much to see until there. Ba-ching. I'll go ahead and take this bad boy off now because obviously it did not pull back to my price and get me a buying opportunity. Crude now putting in a pattern 5 to the penny. Nice clean pattern 5. The risk off the move because of the volatility of the market. The risk 125.76. The risk had to be 30 cents on a pattern 5. Looking for a pullback down to 124.25 or 8.57, whichever comes first. Jeez Louise. Low risk entry. So this is a low risk short. Counter trend, low risk counter trend short, and you only had to risk $300 per contract on that low risk counter trend short. Practically give it away. Geez, the volatility. Looking at the EAS, I dropped this one for those of you folks that are Aurora members. You're members of the Aurora Society. I dropped this screenshot in this morning to share with some of the Aurora folks who were asking about it, maybe getting a little excited one way or another. And again, no surprise. So based on what we're seeing on our chart, our highs are still in place. Weekly chart says down. I'm still looking for this move down. I expect the S&P is going to continue pulling on down here into April the 1st. So April 1, big time day for us. Yep, I'm looking for the move down until April the 1st. Nothing about this changes anything. So if we can continue the move on the way down, 38.74 and a quarter off of 38.74 and a quarter. If the market gets that low, and we very well might, we may even go lower, but I'm looking for a move down until the next 3 weeks, 3 more bars. And I'm looking to see if we get a lower low bar. I'm going to be extra excited if we have a singular bar in here that's a big one, or if we have 3 consecutive lower low candles, or 3 consecutive lower low weeks into the 1st of April. If we get that, and or if we get a single bar, which is a selling bar, which is a big one, 40% larger than the previous 5, and we don't know what those are yet. So we're just watching now to see if it starts to form. Basically, I'm looking for range expansion. If we get range expansion at this point, moving us down into April the 1st, and if the market's able to hit the weekly support levels and or the moving average, I got a feeling the average price is going to be somewhere right around 38.92, 38.94. If we get down into that price at there, that's going to be a pattern 4, and I'm going to buy this market back up. So I'm looking for a move to there. I'm on the side on all of my spider stocks until we get there, and once we get to that price again, I'm looking to pick up several more shares of spider right there. We'll see if we can't get a pattern 4 buy opportunity off of it. So until then, just letting it roll, watching it do its thing. I know, right, Michael? Yeah, Putin. Me and him are not getting along right now. He's costing me a lot of money. The man's in my gas pocket. Bad deal. Bad deal. You get in my gas pocket. All right. Plus, I just think he's a jerk. So, you know. Looking at our EAS. Now, notice the ES on our daily. This is the analysis that we did last week where we were talking about the 5s to 4s, 4s to 5s. And I want you guys to notice with me some of the correlation. So we have a sell signal back here on the weekly, which are not the same. They're the same indicator, but they're not using the same settings and all that. The weekly says big reversal on April the 1st. I'll get it right. And it's a sell. Okay. So that one's saying a sell on April the 1st. Looking at our daily, the nearest correlating signal that we have would be a buy on Monday, April the 4th. Okay, so let's think about how this would work together. On the daily, we are looking for potential move from pattern 4 or pattern 5 to 4, 5 to 4. The next opportunity for a 4 is not until 324. So that's the next opportunity for a 4. Don't know if it'll hit on that one. It may hit on the one after it. Now, here's the deal. When we come into the April the 4th, this is a correlating signal between the weekly. Now, this signal is a buy if the market is at a brand new low on that Monday morning, probably that Sunday night Globex open. If the market is at a brand new low on this day, it is automatically a pattern 4 on this chart. So we will have a very tight correlation within one day, within one trading day. So a weekly is going to close out on Friday. The daily says starting first thing Monday morning, we're going to see the ratchet right back up again. So, and that's going to last for a week and a half, last from the 4th until 13th. So 10 days. So there's a tremendous amount of correlation here between a daily chart and a weekly chart. We don't always get that. We did have that correlation when we saw this mess coming back into B back in 227. So we did have the correlation there from between the weekly and the daily. And we may very well have the correlation here on April the 4th. Until April the 4th, I'm favoring shorts. So nothing else to see. Coming into our right now, last week as we closed out Friday, we did have a buy signal. Market pulled down into the buy. That wasn't so bad. We did open up very small gap down as of Monday morning, and the market has now pushed down all day on Monday, closing below the open price line, giving us the indication that, hey, this thing is not likely to pull back up. So right there's a scribble that I put on the chart last week. And this tells me, yeah, watch for the continuation on back down into 324. So I think we're going to continue going lower. We have now penetrated the dot value. By penetrating that price, it gives us an indication that we're going to be lower here on the 24th. So I'm still looking for short here. Short, and short. We have a second one of these bad boys. So they do tend to run in pairs, but this is becoming annoying. So again, sometimes they get annoying, and I wish they weren't, but they do get this way. We've had 2 of these in a row where the market gave a switchback and did not give the switchback on time. So the last 2 signals that we've had did not give the follow through that was expected. Again, these have come back to back, which means starting the next signal, which is going to be in 1 day and 8 hours, we're probably going to see the resumption of the expected trends or the expected move. So back-to-back weirdness, 2 consecutive weeks where the market has been all over the place and we have not had any consistent follow through. 2 in a row, very unusual. Happens, it has happened before, but it is not super common. So let's see if this market will finally get a resumption of trend. By what I'm referring to is I am referring to typically the direction that the first bar closes. The market will move in that direction for the remainder of the week unless the very next bar, not 4 bars later, the very next one closes below. Well, the very next bar after we closed above the range here on the 2nd, the next bar did not close below, nor did the 3rd bar. So we had a crash through that came 3 bars later, 3 days later, and it did not give us that follow through. Now we still have today and all day tomorrow in this move. So is it possible the market pulls back up and gets inside the range? Absolutely. It is very possible. At this point, is it likely? No, not really. So We'll see where it ends up going. Probably going to stay below 43.02 till day after tomorrow. Yuck. All right. We were in the last long duration power zone that we entered. The market we were favoring long for this entire period of time over on the 1 hour. And now we've come into, oof, I'm going to rescale it. Hopefully it's just got bad data. Nope. All right. So we've been accustomed, notice this with me. So we've been accustomed to trends on the 1 hour that last a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. We go back even further, 3 days. Most of our trends typically are going to last 3 to 5 days, sometimes even longer. We had one back here that lasted for 2 weeks. So we typically expect to see 1 hour charts give us trends that last more than an hour or two. Coming up, we don't have nothing. I mean, see, coming up is an abomination. It's awful. We don't get even several hours in our trend moves right now. So this market is in a state of trying to figure out what the crap is it going to do. We pushed down earlier, pattern 4 coming into the market. The zone was in play. The zone was going to be in play until 10 o'clock from midnight last night until 10 o'clock today. We were looking for the push up. It did manage to close 2 bars below. It did put in a pattern 4, so we gave it 1 extra bar to see if it was going to get back inside, and it did. So as the market came through here, we had the swing low already measured. Bar 1 closed below, bar 2 closed below, bar 2 was a pattern 4 based on the time warp, so we gave it 1 extra bar to give it a chance to get back inside, and it got back inside. Yay! It did not invert, missed inverting by 1 bar. It did its thing, gave us a low risk buy opportunity on daily support at a pattern 4. Yeehaw! Gave us the opportunity, and now we're over. So that range is over as of 10 o'clock. Going to be looking for a move down for an hour. So junk, absolute crap. So the ES, where it has been really nice right this moment, our 60-minute chart is barely worth mentioning because it's just awful. So the projection right now is awful. What should we move down on the other side? I'm going to mark it out just because I'm being spiteful. But yeah, so it's really hard to see a trend in 2 bars or an hour. So that's not really much time to identify a trend. So we're going to be looking for a move down from 10 to 11, 11 back up to 12, 12 back down to 4. So the 1 hour chart, similar to the NASDAQ, or not the NASDAQ, but the Russell, it's just terrible. So very, very similar moves here. They're ugly, ugly. There's not a whole lot to see. Kind of no love and happiness off of that bad boy. Next time warp signal of any kind won't be until 1 o'clock this afternoon. So we are currently in a time warp sell till 1 o'clock. I got nothing. Got nothing at all. Let's see what else we're going to get. Dropping down to the 15. Is it any more helpful? Well, let's pull this one in. Let's see if I can get one more. Can you get me one more? There's one. Grab a couple of boxes from last week. That was ugly. All right. Range is abnormally large for a 15, but it is what we have to work with. So I'd like to say it was smaller, but it's not. But it's what we got. As we're coming in, we are expecting to see the underlying trend on the 15 to be up. We have until 10:15 today. 10:15, we're going to be looking for the trend move right back down into 2:30 this afternoon. 2:30 this afternoon, up until 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. So those are our projected trends. These are our projected trend directions. We'll see where they go. For sure, entry opportunities today. Counter trend pattern 5 at 8 o'clock or 7:15 this morning. Nice pullback down. Put us into a pattern 4 this one would have been with the trend. So we missed it just a little while ago as we came into 8:15 this morning. Off of 8:15, we did have a pattern 4 time warp lower low sell, one bar opportunity. Maximum risk was going to be 41.85, the entry 41.88.5, 3 points, and profit target on that move is 42.28. The market has already started to move up. The move will also be over at 9:45. So we have a nice clean pattern 4. The market is moving in the expected direction, and it's also moving in the expected trending direction. Favoring longs. Nothing else to do until 9:45. 9:45 is going to be the completion of the pattern 4 and its own move. As we're starting at 9:45, we're going to see a move up, potentially into 10:15. From 10:15, we'll see what it does from there. Looking for a trend reversal shortly after the 9:45 buy, so only 2 bars later. Not much time. 11 o'clock, we're going to be looking for a move down to 1 o'clock this afternoon. That may be the cleanest duration, the cleanest long duration selling opportunity on the 15 today. So let's see if the market will push us on up into the open and where we go from there. Looking at our 5-minute, my favorite chart here for the EAS. I'll go ahead and rescale it since it's been running all night long. All right. Grab these from last week. There's our scribble in the chart, still from where we were here in class last week. Still got the notes hanging out there on the workspace, don't I? A weird spot, but it is what it is. Bar 1, bar 2. All right. So we have managed to invert the current power zone. And let's pull this one in. So our 5-minute chart is not in agreement with our 15-minute chart at the moment. And yeah, so it's not in agreement with the 15 at the momento, but it does give us a relatively decent expectation of a move for the next little while. So let's look at where we're at. The 5-minute chart, we came into the buy time this morning right there as the market entered the buy time for the longer duration trend move. So the trend projection from 5:15 was going to be up all the way until 9:55. The market did fulfill the inversion criteria. It closed 1 bar below here, not part of a pattern 4. It closed a 2nd bar below all the way over here at 8:15. Took it a couple hours. In the between time, it did push up and put in brand new highs, only to come right back down again. Once it closed that 2nd bar below the low, we're going to be favoring short for the remainder of the time in the zone, which happened to be a pull up in 8:50 into the sell and then back down to 9:35. So going to be favoring short here till the next little bit on our entry level chart. So our 15 says long for it looks a little while. The 1 hour says, well, we're transitioning to short now, and then we get no help. And the 5-minute also says short until 9:35. So if this market gives us a push down into 9:35, well, then we're going to get a dump and pump. And it looks like 9:55 is actually our next major trend reversal. So I don't know what the range is going to be until we get there. That's what it would be right this minute. We'll watch and see what it is when we get there. 9:35, we are going to come into a buy time. If the market did a really severe move, it would have to be a severe move, but it's possible. If this market decided to get really crazy and pull up and hit this price at 9:35, I'm going to sell it as a pattern 5. Otherwise, I'm just going to ignore the 9:35 signal and go from there. So that would be the only short that I have close to the open, or the only move I have at all right at the open. After that, it's 9:45, and we'll see where 9:45 is. And then we have the 9:55 trend reversal. So let's see where the market is in the next half an hour or in 20 some minutes, and we'll see what we're going to get. Yay. Mr. Challenger, welcome back. It's good to see you this morning. Weird. Markets, some of my charts just look strange today. We'll see what they continue to do. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get rid of this thing. Somebody asked me the other day, someone programmer kind of person who knows more than I do, was asking me how complex our code was. And just for any of you guys who are programmers out there, you might have some appreciation for this. I've been working in the code. I've been working on the Aurora program now for a while. I showed you guys sneak peeks last week. And I don't actually do the coding. I have a programmer that does it, but I get in here and mess around, and I know how to do small things. But I didn't realize till the other day that our code for the time warp is up to 32,700 lines, 32,745 lines of code that it's taken to do this. A new programmer would look at this and he would crap his britches, because that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff going on in there. Just interesting to me. All right, let's close that down for now. And here, and let's see where we're going to be. All right. Hey, Colin. Good morning. Yeah, I'm actually looking for a little buy opportunity on the crude here myself. 21 is not a bad spot. So 21, that's my Earl number. Oh, come on. I'm sitting here second guessing it. 124.21. If it'll give me the fill, I'm going to put my risk just below it, and we're in the buy time until 9:24. Let's see if it'll fill me here. I'm not going to chase it, but if it does come back, give me the fill, there's some opportunity there. I wasted too much time looking at my other stuff I had open. Let's see. It may still fill me. If it'll fill me again, I'm looking for a buy off 21. I'm going to see if I can hold it for the next 10 minutes or so. Okay. Well, that thing's going to move right on up, isn't it? Looks like I was just a second or two late getting my order on, and it's already moved up $400, $500, $600. Attention, boy. All right. It's already moved up quite a bit. I'm going to take my order off, and I'll wait for my next signal at 9:24. Yes, it is coffee time. That's for sure. There's nothing. All right, I got a few minutes. We'll refill my coffee. I'll be right back. Tell you what, good cup of coffee make it all better. Yeah, crude came back. But it came back into this in time for the sell signal. So I'm going to wait for this 924 bar to close, Colin. If the 924 bar closes a selling bar, then I'm going to buy it. I'm going to do a little counterintuitive stuff here for a minute. See if I can get me a low risk buy. It did. It came back within a penny. Volatility sitting at 72 pips per bar. Look at the ES, 8. We're now 2 bars from the open, and we're sitting at 8 points per bar over on the 5-minute chart. That means we're going to see volatility today. Potentially, volatility will be around 16 points. Whoo, 16 points per bar. That's a lot. So the ES is going to have a lot of potential, but again, there's a ton of volatility. Well, that's down to 7, but yeah, 14 to 16 points per bar is a lot during the 10:30, 11 o'clock hour. That's getting it done. Colin, what are your gas prices now? You guys go by the liter, so it's about double, I guess, what we pay. All right, interesting. Well, this is an interesting little development over on the ES for those of you guys that trade the EAS. So on the ES, earlier I was looking for a push up potentially until the open of yesterday for a pattern 5 short opportunity. Well, the reason I had chosen that level because that was the swing high. Well, notice with me that our illustrious swing indicator has now identified that 4209 3/4, 4209 3/4 is now a swing high. So it printed it on the last bar. So with that last bar printing, this price now qualified as a swing high, which means if we get a push up into 935, and if that push up into 935 is at or above 4209 3/4, well, we're going to have a pattern 5, which means we're going to have a shorting opportunity, and this would act like a pump and dump. So we're going to see if we get the pump and dump here today over on the ES. Still favoring the short, but if we get 3 consecutive buying candles into 935, this is going to be the close of the first bar after the open. If the market launches up at the first bar of the open, then 935, we're going to look for a pullback down. So let's see what happens. Very good possibility that we get a push up into a P5. We're going to watch for the close of the 935 bar, and we're going to see what that one gives us. Oh, yeah. That is very potential. Yes, Colin, that's correct. Diesel, gas here is now in a lot of places, it's over $4 a gallon. It's in my local area, we're $3.85, $3.95. I paid $3.87 yesterday, and the line was a bit. There were the station I was at yesterday had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They had 10 pumps, and there were 10 people in line at every pump. and to try to get it at 389 or 387 or whatever it was. It was 380 something. You're at $1. Is that a 1.56 pounds per liter or 1.56 euros per liter? That's for a pound. So 1.56. £1 56 pence. Okay. That works out to be is that the same as pound sterling? That's pound sterling, isn't it? I'm looking at my currency converter. And you're at 1.56. Holy crap. And that's per liter. So that means that's basically $2. So you guys are paying $8. You're $8 a gallon for gas. That means you're probably $10 a gallon for diesel. Or does it work that way? Diesel is the one thing here I never really understand because it takes half the refining that gasoline does, but it costs more. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Costs you 100 pounds to fill your car up. $200. That's a chunk. At that rate, I'm getting a bicycle. All right, we are open in 1 minute and 54 seconds. I'm looking for a potential pattern 5. Crude came back down. We hit that same price level again on the sell signal. Did not get a pattern 4. It's grinding its way back up. Was that me on the rock face? Unfortunately, no, Colin, it was not. I've not had the opportunity to experience that. But don't get me wrong. You give me a half a chance, I'd do that. That's amazing. I just haven't had an opportunity to get out there and do that. I do some rock climbing, but nothing to that extreme. Yeah, that's right. When you're in the military, you did all kinds of stuff. And now you can't even use a ladder the right way. Yeah, it hurts. I understand all too well. 34 seconds. Gonna crank it up. Again, 935. Let's see what we get. If we're at a higher high at 935, and if we close a buying bar, that's the key. We need to be at a higher high price, and we need to close a buying bar. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resistance levels above us, and they ain't much support here till we get back down to 41, 49. So let's see what happens. Favoring shorts. See if we can get a pull up into a short. Hang 10. And we're open. See what these crazy guys are going to do here. Tell you what, if crude will give me a push down for the next 2.5 minutes, I can buy it again. I'd like to see a selling candle here, and I'd like to see a market back down to somewhere around 24.18 or lower, in that range. And actually, I take that back. I would like to see the market at 55. So if it would come back down and test right at 55, then I will buy it again. If it closes right there at 55. I want to see this. I want to see the buy signal actually sell. No, below 55. Sorry. Duh. I want to see it close below 124.55. If we close below 55, I'm going to be a buyer at the close of the candle. If we close above it, I'm going to let it go until the next signal up. All right. Come on, markets. Well, that's a lackadaisical open. I say lackadaisical, it's moved 12 points so far, but we're averaging 9 points per bar. So again, 16 to 18 points per bar is what we're going to expect to see here after 10 o'clock. Over on the ES, waiting for our opportunity. All right, Russell's still favoring the short. We're in the selling range. I gave it a bar to open. The market came up and pierced the sell dot. Now we're grinding ourselves right back down sideways here. ES, we're in a selling zone. We're in an inverted sell zone. I got very little here. I was expecting to see the market, or I was hoping to actually see the market push up into this buying time, which was going to give me a trade with the direction of the trend off of a pattern 5. We did not get that. We have now pulled down into the buying time from the sell signal, which means we're likely to see a push up at a 945. Not a huge move, but I may get a low risk counter trend long. So looking for a counter trend long on the ES. Very counter trend at the moment. 23 seconds to close out this bar. Short-term double bottom in the market there. Yeah, I mean, see if I can get something going here. Well, that was kind of quick. See if I can let it sit here for just a second. Maybe it'll give me a fill. I'm going to front run the open price line by 2 ticks. I'm not going to give this thing much risk because, well, it's counter trend. So see if we can get a little move up here for just a few points. Very counter trend move. We've dumped down into the time. Come on, you can go back up. So we pulled down into the buy time, or into the buy time below the price, and market's reacting fairly quickly. Now, if we hit 4209 on this bar, ladies and gentlemen, if we should hit it on this bar, then it's automatically a pattern 5. So for that reason, and we just hit it, I'm going to get 100% of that move off. And we're probably going to see the push on up here for a few more minutes, but we may pull right back. There it goes. Bam. All right, so we got a little counter trend buy. It was clean, closed clean, gave us the entry opportunity, and there's the punch. So I grabbed, I don't know how much. I grabbed a few points off of it. Again, I got out at the pattern 5 because you got to pay attention. Again, always pay attention to where the market price is in relationship to the previous highs and lows. Because what's the move I was actually looking for? I was looking for the short off of this price right here. Well, that means the market hits that price on the very next bar. We started off with a buy that became a sell when it hit here. Now we're going to watch for the pullback down. So let's see if the market's going to give us a rollback over. So by touching that previous high, the buy became a sell, and I'm out. Now I've got 2.5 on about 3 minutes. Let's see how this bar closes. And I know it, right? It's kind of a bizarre. I'm expecting a pullback. If we close somewhere kind of high, if we close up in here, maybe somewhere, I'm going to sell the market again. So I'm going to sell it if we close up in that range, because it's going to be a pattern 5. Oh, look at that sucker. She's going to wick all the way back down in it. That's a crazy candle, 20-point candle. Oh, man. Everybody get a piece off of that one? Hyman only got $600 off of it. Hyman, that's the best you can do. Come on, man, you gotta step your game up. You only made $600 in that 45 seconds. What are we gonna do with you? That's right. Colin said you got to work harder. Yeah, I'm the same way. I only made $700 in that one trade. It's like, why am I wasting my time? I should have hit the reverse button is what I should have done, but I was waiting on this bar to close. Look at that crazy thing. Pattern 5. It's going to be a pattern 5 with a gigantic wick. Way too big a wick for me to play. Good job on your trade, Diamond. Oh, man. Okay, well, technically, we just hit a pattern 4, and I wasn't paying attention. We just hit a pattern 4 over here on the Russell market, hit the pattern 4, and the very next bar actually poked its head just a little bit lower. Tell you what, it's a pattern 4, and the market is making a pullback to the open price line here. I got a feeling I'm going to do something a little crazy. Come on. I'm going to sell the open price line. Man, don't tell me I'm going to be a second late because I placed the wrong order. This market's probably going to run down, and we're going to be favoring shorts until 10:10. So we've got a little time left. I got two things going on. If the market breaches the low down here at the bottom, it's going to be a breakout trade, and the breakout trade short on the Russell is going to be in play until 9:50. So there's not much time. There's only a few bars to go. If it pulls back to the open price line again, I'm going to sell it at the open price line again. But by getting the market penetrating the bottom, I'm going to watch for the push on down into 9:50. So a couple of bars to go. See if we can't get a little buy action off of it. All right, breakout trade's inherently more risky. I'm going to lock in. I'm going to take $50 off my trade no matter what. Wow, and that's all it gave me. So I got $50 off. Took the breakout to the downside, got 1 point, took that 1 point off. There's still plenty of room, and it's probably going to continue on down, but I did get the point off. Blah, blah, blah. Crude moving up into a sell time counter trend. Not interested. I got some signal congestion coming up. I'm not interested in a sell here at this point, although it may move down. We'll wait here for a minute. ES, by rights, we have a pattern 5. Now, work with me here for a second. So over on the ES, this was a pattern 5. We watched it, we talked about it. It's pattern 5. Pattern 5 has now led us into pattern 4. So that means at the close of this bar, in 3 minutes, we got 3 minutes to go. If the market is a selling candle, got to be a selling bar. If the market is a selling bar, then I'm going to buy the market at the low of the bar. And we're going to look for a counter trend, counterintuitive move. Counterintuitive means we're going to buy it at a sell. Now, if the market doesn't give me a selling bar, and if it just pulls back up, well, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait. We'll wait it out and see what it actually ends up doing. So hang 10. Not much to see here for the next second or two. Guys, you might think I'm crazy, and I might be. If the bar were on the ES right now, if this bar closes a buying bar and closes at the high, then it's going to be a pattern 4 that made the entire move in one bar. And at the close of this bar, I'm going to sell it. We're still in a selling trend. If we push up, retest the top of that pattern 5 high, then as we get right to this top edge, I'm gonna wait for the bar to close. I got 50 seconds. And in 50 seconds, if we're still hanging around right up here at the high, I'm gonna sell it and put my risk just above the top. It's very tight. Signals are seriously close together right here. But I'm gonna look for a short. Come on, stay up here tight. Stay high. 19 seconds. Okay, sold it at the top of the range. Now, this time I'm going to do similar to what I did last time. I'm up $200 in the move in a blink of an eye. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take a little something off. So we pushed up into the sell time. I've got $150, $125 locked in. And it didn't give me much. It made a quick 250 point move, and wow. Notice that our volatility, I'm being a little coy with the market. Yeah, I kind of knew I was going to be. We're already up to 14 and a half, almost 15 points per bar. Again, the projection is 16 to 18 points per bar, so we're almost there on the volatility side. And let's hang out here for just a second. We have a trend reversal. New selling trend is going to start at 9:55, so we're right on the cusp of that now. Let's see how this next bar closes. Right there's our new range that we're coming into over on the EAS. Russell, market's pushing up 3.5 minutes. If we push up and close this bar near the high for the next 3.5 minutes, then I will sell it up there. Got daily resistance coming in at 1971.50. We may get a selling opportunity there. Pattern 5. So we have a pattern 5, a higher high price at a buying time. We've seen one of these before. So we have a brand new high. The high is established by looking left and identifying that 126.02 is the previous high. The market is now extended beyond that high, and we are getting a range expansion bar. So there's a range expansion bar, which is a single bar that is larger by about 40% or more than its compatriots. So by comparing this bar, the size already, to the previous 5 bars, it's at least 40% bigger than all. So this does qualify us as a range expansion bar. And well, let's see what happens. So as we're coming into the close of this candle, if it closes really close to the top, in 10 seconds here, I'm going to look for a low risk short. Don't pull back too soon. Look at this sucker rolling back down. Oof. Risky little area here in the market. 2 ticks above the high. I'm not giving it forever. Pattern 5. Probably going to pinch me here, and it pinched me. Pattern 5. Counter trend, counterintuitive. It's all the risk I was willing to give it. Now we're into our standard sell. Let's see what the market happens here. Blah, blah, blah. No love and happiness off that last little crude move. All right, we have 1 minute and 12 seconds to close out this bar over on the S&P. The ES is hovering on the open price line. We have a new sell trend that's going to kick in at 9:55. Tell you what, I'm going to sell this market again, I think. In 55 seconds, if the market is hovering up here, if we're at a doji or if we're hovering anywhere close to the open price line, then I think I'm going to sell it one more time. See if I can't pick up another $100 here. If it moves too quickly, then I'm just going to miss the move. Letting the candle close. 36 seconds. Look at that sucker. She's going to run right on back down, although it stressed it for a little while. So I'm going to set an order at the open price line and let it sit there for a minute. Yeah. So it shook me out. I picked up a little cash. It went against me, and it would, if I'd have stayed in there, it was good for $7 on the push down. So yay. We have a pattern 5 now followed up by a pattern 2 over on the crude. Counter trend, very counter trend. Look at that sucker. Oh, this is also now a pattern 5 on the 15, isn't it? Sure enough, 15-minute pattern 5. Higher high price at a buying time. Market's losing its mind. And as of 10 o'clock, which is in 10 minutes, the 30-minute is a pattern 5. So we have a lot of pattern 5s that are forming out here within the next minute or two. I'm going to try to sell this sucker one last time. Might get a pullback, not sure. Probably going to pull back to the open price line. Let's see what it's going to do. I am against the trend. Pattern 5, 2 bars in a row. Pattern 5 into a pattern 2, and the pattern 2 is expected to only push down for 1 bar. So let's see if it'll pull back for a bar. I'm not going to give this thing a ton of risk. It's either going to go or it's not. And I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to lock in something quickly because I'm nervous about it mainly and because I'm so counter trend. All right. I lost $200 on that last one. I'm going to get my $200 back. Well, I'm going to get 100 of it. I don't need that. It moves so stinking fast. Jeez Louise. All right. I got some of it back anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take my order off the ES. We are now into a selling trend, and right there's our current range of the market. Going to be, we were favoring shorts off of an inverted move, and now we are continuing to favor shorts. This is a native selling power zone, and again, going to be favoring the shorts for a while. Let's see where we come into this crazy move at. Yeah. All right, hang 10. I don't have anything clean setting up right this moment. So there's not anything really pretty setting up here. It's very small pullback over on the crude. It's almost over, minute 15 seconds. Nothing for me to do here at the moment. 957 is coming. If we can get a sell, and if we can close a selling bar at 957, I'll buy it again. And now if 957, I do get a little bit of time in that one, more so than 1 bar. So the last 3 signals, I've only had 1 or 2 bars in between signals, not leading me to love and happiness thoughts. I didn't realize it was just now, but we actually put in a pattern 5 a moment ago. Not a pattern 5 we could get an entry on, but it was a pattern 5 over on the Russell. Higher high price at a buying time. Ended up closing a selling bar, so no entry. Watch for the pullback down into 1009. Let's see what it does. I'd like to encourage everybody to consider coming out for the Edge event. I'll put in our Edge plug for the day, and I'm gonna drop a link here into the room. I sent out some messages to some of you last week, all of you just about. And again, please consider coming over to the Edge event, which is going to be first couple of days of April. We do this once a year where we go into some advanced trading techniques and we talk about how you can expect things to roll out and different ways to engage the market. Along with this time we will be introducing a new indicator that is a different type of indicator than we've used in the past. And if you come to the event, you get it. Otherwise, after the event, it's a lease deal. So better to come to the event and save the money on it. If it's something you're interested in, it's a pretty interesting little tool, and almost finished with it. But combining price, time, and volume. So yeah. So please come over and check us out at the Edge event. Again, it's going to be the first couple of days of April. Get your tickets now. All right, we're going to have another pattern 5 over on the crude. Crude has had almost no pullbacks. It's had virtually no pullbacks for the last half hour. Been almost straight up. 15 minutes showing it as well. 10:15 says it's going to be a pattern 5. We have a range expansion bar there. 30 minutes says at the close of this bar, we have our first opportunity for a P5, which is in 3 minutes. The 1 hour chart says, yeah. So all of these are going to be counter trend, counterintuitive, pattern 5 moves. Likely to get one here in a minute. See if I can get something with low risk. Counter trend, it needs to be really low risk. "23 seconds to close out this bar. It's going to be a nice wick to the top side. Ugh, nope, looks like it's going to be a selling bar. So pattern 5 is moving, no love. Going to be a selling bar, which does not give me an entry. Not an entry to the short side. Might get me an entry to the buy side. I'm going to be late for it. I was going to get me an entry to the buy side, put my risk right there at 69. I'm going to let it sit for a second. It might give me a fill. If it hits the high, then I'm just going to call it. I'll leave it alone. Whoa, easy now. Too late to get a piece of it. All right, I don't really have anything significant set up. Had a pattern 5, not a pattern 5, you can get an entry on. Market closing a selling bar to buying time, which means we're probably going to continue on up. Tried to get the buy off the close of the bar. I was too late for that, and it moved straight up, never came back. Let's wait for just a minute. 2 minutes, minute and 48 seconds. We're going to close out the 10 o'clock candle. This is still a pattern 5, and as of here, as of 10 o'clock, the 30-minute says we should see a pullback, as does the 15. So the 10 o'clock and the 30-minute and the 15 are both indicating a pullback at the close of the bar. If the bar we're on right now also touches the top, which it just did, then if we close up here high, again, we're going to have pattern 5s on 3 time frames on the crude here in just a minute. We have the multi-day high at 130.48, so we're almost back up. We look at it over on our daily scale. How about a daily scale that has something on it? There we go. So looking at it over on a daily scale, we have weekly resistance at 130.78, and we've come almost all the way back up to it. So in the course of the day today, we've already moved 117.08 all the way up into 130 today. We've done that today. Whew. It's a lot of movement. That boy's cranking. 23 seconds to close out this bar. Pattern 5. You know what? I didn't even think. Did we get we have any econs out today? Quick peek. 10 o'clock. Final wholesale inventories. That's it. Nothing else significant. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, guys, I have another pattern 5, very counter trend. All these counter trend moves, I'm locking in something quickly because I feel like I'm fighting this thing hard as I can go. I'm not going to take any loss on this one. There's a potential that this thing could pull all the way back to here. If we hit the open price line, which is down there, then I'm going to lock in more profit. Again, I'm scalping the crap out of this thing because it is so counter to the trend. Oof. Market starting to make the move right on time. Up $300 in the trade. Come on, keep going. If it'll get below that white line, it's got legs. But I'm getting what I can. I'm not going to take less than $300. 38 into 05. All right, I got $320 off. Again, I scalped it. It is a valid pattern 5, but this market is, let's face it, this is a little unusual. So because of that, and we got right to that open price line. If it had punched the open price line, I would have given a little more room, but as it was, I chased it all the way down to it. I don't think we're going to get below that, but we'll see. Grabbed a quick $300 off. Again, this market's screaming volatility. We're still sitting at, what is this number? 80. So we're still sitting at 80 pips per bar. Obnoxiously big. Pattern 5, counter trend, counterintuitive. See where it goes. Russell, I only had the one tiny trade earlier that I scalped it, and I haven't had much to do on it since. We're coming into a very nasty range here on the Russell. Let's see what's going to happen. Over on the EAS, there's the sell. I tried to get back in that sell again when we tested it, and it just never came back to me. The trend moves to the downside. We did not put in a pattern 4 at the beginning of the trend, which just says that the trend on the ES is now, brace yourselves, it's going to go down. I know, hard to believe, but the trend is going to go down. We are in a native power zone that's a short side, and the trend projection is that we will continue going down until 220 this afternoon. So, yeah, down until 220 today. We're going to be favoring shorts until then. Our next signal up is a buy at 1010, which means nothing. Means I'm going to do nothing with it unless it came all the way back up, and it would have to come all the way back up and hit 42.14. Other than that, I ain't doing anything with it. I'll wait. Nothing else to do for me for the moment. We did not close below the open price line, therefore the crude is likely to continue on up. It is too risky at this point for me to take a breakout trade because it's a pattern 5 here and it's a pattern 5 here. So 2 higher time frames are giving P5s, not a surprise, but because of that, I'm not going to take a breakout trade. Those are automatically riskier, and I'm not going to do a double risk. Let's see where the market is at 10:15. If we pull down 3 consecutive candles, or if we can make a lower low move, closing below 127.81. If we can do that by 10:15, then maybe I'll watch for a push right back up. So hang 10. Otherwise, I may not get anything. That's not a breakout trade, but. All right, we're in the chop zone. I don't really have a whole lot to do, so that's why I'm not talking much, because there's not really a whole lot for me to do here. I grabbed a little counter trend short. The market did not get below the open price line. It has now pierced the top. I said earlier I wasn't interested in a breakout trade only because the higher time frames are saying breakout trade here is crazy risky. I mean, it may scream right on up, which is fine, but historically we know that when the market is breaking out of a pattern 5, you certainly don't want to fight against the pattern 5. Even if I'm not going to trade it, I'm not going to fight the thing. So I'm looking to see if I can get a pullback down, if I can get a lower low close or a lower close candle. You know, if this thing will push down and get below 127.80 in the next 3 minutes to close a selling bar, maybe I could buy it there in you know, in the direction of the trend or something. Otherwise, I don't really have anything here for a while on crude. My next big opportunity is not till 10:33, and then look at my signal congestion again. So it's going to be ugly. Got the short earlier over on the ES. Actually, I got the long and the short, and I did not hold on to the short as long as I should have, but it is what it is. So that short would now be over. We're into a counter trend long. So there's a counter trend buy opportunity here at the bottom, 41.6250. I'm looking for a push up from here. I'd like to be in the direction of the trend, and I really want to see a move back up for a little bit into 10.35. So 10.35, I'm gonna look for a short there over on the ES. The one we're in right now, it is a buy time. It is very counter trend. Not really interested in just a straight out counter trend move there, but let's see what else we get. Not much here. All right, guys, call me crazy, but I'm gonna look for a buy. We've already started a small pullback. We have a selling candle over on the crude. We're gonna close this bar out in 15 seconds. And if I can get a low close candle here, I'm gonna buy it, put my risk just below the bottom, look for a push back up for at least one bar. So let's see if I can get a low risk, low close candle. More risk than I would normally like to see in a trade, but I mean, it is what it is. That's just what the market's giving me right now. It's kind of what I said ahead of time I was going to look for. I'm going to lock in $100. Let's see if it'll punch on up and keep going quickly. I'm not going to take a loss here. Again, volatility's the volatility is still kind of on the bananas side. So I'm being very coy with my move. it bounced. It only gave $220, but it gave $220 in a blink, and I took 100 of that off of a scalp up. Again, I'm nervous here. Full admittedly, I'm not hiding anything from you guys. I'm very nervous because this is a pattern 5 and it's a pattern 5. So both of my higher time frame charts are saying technically that one is 2 now. So I have 3 higher time frame charts all saying that we have a pullback coming. That's the reason I wasn't willing to take the breakout trade earlier. So I waited for a pullback in the market and didn't get much off of it. We'll see where it's going to end up going. Bummer. So by seeing a selling candle at a selling time, I realized usually you'll get a pullback for a little bit, but I really thought I'd get more than that. So I'm flat. Next opportunity is not till 10:33. I'll wait on the side. Take my $100 and lick my wounds. Go to the house. I only made $100. Junk. Junk, 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 junk. Market's kind of crazy when it gets this way, Colin. Don't you think? I think when the volatility starts hitting these kind of numbers, it's been this way for the last 2 weeks. They hit these numbers, I'm like, ugh. Scale-wise on the chart, it all looks the same. But account-wise, it's a big difference. Big, 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 big. All right, ES is making a nice little move back up off of the buy time. Watch for a push up here into. I'm looking for a move up in a 1035 where I'm gonna try to sell it again. Oh, man alive. All right, guys, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be back in a minute. I don't have anything to do, nothing setting up, so there's nothing, no reason for me to stare at the chart.
But the dawn is breaking, taxis wait, already I'm so low. So kiss me and smile at me, tell me that you're with me, hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I let you down, so many times I think down. I tell you now, babe, don't be afraid. Every place I go, I'll be with you. Every song I sing, I'll sing. When I come back, I'll bring your wedding ring. So kiss me and smile at me. Tell me that you're with me. Hold me like you never let me go. I'm leaving.
Well, it looks like my little crude trade, I was actually off by 1 bar. Still doing pretty much what I thought it would. But again, I'm off by 1 bar.
There are places I remember. motivated at the moment. Love is different. I feel technical. Some are dead and some are waiting. I've loved them all. All these friends and others, very few ones with you. And when we lose that feeling, when I think of love and something new, so I know I'll never lose affection. Some people say, and when they love, it's often think about when I love you more.
All right. All right, guys and gals, we have Sigma congestion coming up over on the crude. We're still in this pattern 5. Again, it's got me nervous. Just does. I'm not nervous per se, but I mean, let's be real. You don't want to fight that rascal, so I'm kind of hanging out. Over on the ES, I'm looking to see where this market's going to end up. And I wanted to see a pull up in a 1035 and then move back down to 1050. So at the moment, well, we had a start with a move and we hit the open price line of the power zone. That's resistance for the market. And it's come right back down. I'm waiting to see how the bar closes at 1035. Now, if we're putting in a pattern 4 at 1035, that's going to change my mindset. So if the market's doing this, and if we're putting in a brand new low at 1035, we may very well get a pullback up. So hang 10. The number to watch is 4160. So 4160. If we're down below, at or below 4160 in the next 4 minutes and 45 seconds, if that occurs, then we're going to get a bounce right back up. If the market were to push low enough to hit 4138, which is the overnight low, if it were to whack the overnight low in the next 4 minutes, well, I'll buy the overnight low, especially if we close close down there. So not much to do here at the moment. I'm just waiting on this bar to close, and we'll see where it goes. All right, looks like we're going to get us a little pattern 4 action. Counter trend, counterintuitive. Market is pushing down. We have 3 consecutive lower low bars into a selling time. I drew my little boxes on the chart, what I expected to see happen. This could give us a buy on any of the next 3 bars. If this thing pops, I'm going to give it some room because, well, it's the ES. So the ES is the world's worst for wicking out the move before it goes all the way back up. And there it is. Wow, I had to chase the dumb thing to even get a fill. Okay, that was quick. So that's kind of indicative of pattern 4. I'm going to give this thing a little bit of room, knowingly. If the market, wow, look at there. I should have just left it on the price because I'm a 1.25 behind the 8 ball. That sucks. That's basically like hitting a heavy market. All right. So I need to let the bar close that we're on now. And then once this bar has closed, if the market pulls significantly against me, I'll buy it again. But once this 3-bar window has closed down, again, this is very counter trend. Once this 3-bar window has closed, and in this window, only one of the bars so far has met the pattern 4 criteria, and that's the signal bar. So if the bar we're on right now pushes up, which I expect it will, we should push up and we should be able to get a little profit off of this on the way. And again, ultimate profit target is going to be all the way up here at 41.92. So we're going to see where that goes. So far, we're up 4 points in the move. I'm going to give it a little bit of room. I'm a 1.5 points behind where I should be because, well, it started moving so quickly and I didn't want to miss it. So I basically chased it. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it is what it is. So let's see where this bar closes. If this bar closes up 4 or 5 points in the move, then I'm going to lock in some profit. If this bar goes against me, then I'm going to buy it again at the close of the bar. If the bar pushes into a new low, so I will buy it again at the close of that bar, and we'll watch for a push back up. So far, already up $200 in the move. For me, should be 250 for the rest of you guys. There's 250, and again, you probably should have got a better fill than I did because I chased the snot out of it, and you had an opportunity to get a better one after the fact. So yeah, so pattern 4, and I tell you what, I'm up $600 in the, or up $300 in the move. I'm giving this a little bit of room, but this bar still has a ways to close. It is acting like a pattern 4 in that it's taking on off and going. I just wish I had a better fill. I really do. I'm not happy with my fill price. So up 6 points, 7 points in the move. I really want to get 4 locked in because I'm up 7 and probably not going to get it. I'm going to take 3.5. And if it pulls back, I'm going to buy it again. So because I didn't like my fill price, I grabbed 3.5 points off my move. Because again, I just didn't like my fill price. I didn't like it at all. So if we pull back down, if it gives me another opportunity here, I'm going to get I will buy it again at the better price, which is closer to the bottom. The reality is it could come all the way back into here and give me a really low risk buy. Because this market is really bad for the bar after the signal to come back, test the bottom with a wick, and then shoot straight back up. It's really bad for that. This market's the worst. So I grabbed 3 and change off, a couple $100, whatever it is, 100 something, I don't know. It was at least $100 move. Let's see. Again, the actual entry should be 59.25. Yeah, no, this whole war thing, Colin, it ain't done. I can tell you that. These pumpkin heads are, these boys is crazy. Tell you what, let's let it sit here for a second. 59 seconds. You know what's the one thing I don't actually worry about? I don't actually worry about any in our particular country. I don't worry about a land or a ground invasion of the US. You might get it other places. They might have a hard time in your country. Ain't nobody stupid enough to invade us. Because the people around me, dude, they're crazy. And everybody I know owns more guns and ammunition than the government does. But over yonder, I'm bad to say it's going to be a rough deal. Mm-hmm. 210. All right, the pattern 4 has begun. Now, this thing may continue up. Oftentimes, the ES will come back down and test and wick out the bottom of the lowest point of the pattern 4. It happens all the time. So if it happens again today, I'm going to buy it at the stop out price. So I may not get the fill, and that's okay. Yeah, we'll see. And there she goes. Looks like I'm gonna miss out. So it's going to continue probably to run on up. Again, if it were to come back and hit that wick, then I'll buy it again with that same P4 in mind. If we get to 1050, then I'm just going to call it. I'm just not going to do anything with it after 1050. Now, if 1050 closes a buying bar and we're up here kind of close to the sell signal, then I may sell it again, but with a pattern 9 off of 1050. Let's see what happens in a minute. Yeah, there you go, Colin. You got your man. All right, well, that P4 is going. If it comes back down, I'll put the order back on. But again, it followed very closely to my line. I just hate I had such a bad fill. I might would have left this on if my fill wasn't a 1.5 behind the 8 ball to get started. So the move's going to be over in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay, 3 minutes, 20 seconds on this next ES move. The market is pushing up. And if we close a buying candle here, I would love to see if we're at a buying candle around 41.86. It'll make me mad because I got out of my last trade where it was still a good trade. But if we push up into this buying candle, then I'm going to look for shorting it again. Okay. Well, we've pushed up for the last 3 bars. We have not attained our profit target off that pattern 4. Still favoring the short here. Make sure I'm not standing in the way of something crazy. Now up into the sell. No, everything looks fine. That's actually a pattern 4 on the 15-minute as well. Watching for the pullback up here. It's a pattern 4 with no entry, but it is a pattern 4. As the market pulls up, 26 seconds to close the bar, we're actually putting in a pattern 4 on the crude now, and that's going to be nice. We're going to get a buy opportunity on crude at 10.54 potentially. Let's see. Yeah, I'd like to see this, Michael. That's what I'd love to see. I don't know if we're going to make it, but we might. The bottom of that power zone is going to be a tough area. I'm going to sell it here with the expectation we're going to move right back down. But I am willing to sell it again if we get back to that open price line or back to the open of the day. We're going to be very close to it. So we actually have, technically, this is considered or would be considered like a pattern 9. This would be 3 consecutive higher high or 3 consecutive buying bars into a buying time. And let's see if we roll back down. We're probably not going to go all the way, but we may very well come back and reach us that pattern 4 price level. So I don't have the greatest feel again. I'm having a problem with my fills today. It's because I'm scatterbrained. Scatterbrained. All right, quickly up 5 points in the move. You guys know my rule. If I get up a couple of $100, I ain't losing nothing. See what I can pick up off of this thing. I'm going to a free position. So far, it hasn't moved a whole lot. I think somebody needs to pay me. Well, they need to pay me. Again, I don't have a great fill. I had chased a dumb thing twice. But I think somebody's going to pay me $50 for my trouble. So I'm going to lock in 50 bucks on this. I'm up 200. And if I can get up, say, $250 or $300 in the move, I'm going to lock in more. But as it is, because I do have a bad fill, well, that didn't last long. Hang 10. We get closer to the end of this bar. I got my $50 off. We get close to the end of this bar, and I might pick up another short. Bummer. Bummer. Still looking for another short there. Yeah, I would love to have seen it come back to here, but I don't think we're going to get there. Well, we might get there. I don't know. Who am I to say? But next opportunity for a short won't be until 11:10. That's the fill I should have had right there, which is better fill than I was a minute ago. Crap, look at that junk. They're going to go, but just up and down. A lot of indecision on this bar. I only got 62 off of it, which they took a tick of that away for the stop. So I only got $50 off of it. Should have locked in the 200, I guess, and just been done with it. All right, crude putting in a pattern 4. Does not look at this moment. It doesn't look like we're going to get a pattern 4 with an entry. It is a pattern 4. Watch for crude to get the push back up. But right now we're sitting on a buying bar. Crap. Look at that dummy. Yes. I mean, she's making the move. It's doing it. And there's the $400, $500. Anybody still hanging into their ES position? I'm looking for, I expect the pullback to happen down to here. So this would be the area I'll be looking for the profit target, 41.59. If you're still in your ES position. I'm gonna let mine sit there for a second, because I got a hunch we might get a move. I'll sell it here, 11.10. Well, that was quick. Oh man, was that ever quick. So they started to make the pullback and then they punched right back up again. Let's see where this bar closes. We might end up with something like a pattern 5. Oh, son. If this thing hits 41.95, if we hit 41.95 in the next 16 seconds, that's going to be a pattern 5, which means we have another opportunity to sell it. All right, I sold it one more time at the close of that bar, and I'm gonna let this one sit and soak for a minute. I'm gonna put my bing right there for my profit target. I'm expecting to see a pullback to the buy price. Oh, and 11.10. I expect we may pop here and then run right back down again. If we retest the open price line, I can pick up some nice profit off of that. I just need to see a retest of that OPL. Otherwise, I have until 11.10. Get this thing out of the way for a minute. Yeah, I agree. The pattern 4 is now complete, so that's kind of why I sold it again up here. The pattern 4 that we started off with, it completed its move there. So this is actually the finish of the pattern 4 for the counter trend move, which means we should roll back down now that that pattern 4 target has been attained. So pattern 4 up into the profit target. I took basically a short off of it here. I got another short over here. Got a little short down there. I think we're going to run back to at least the open price line here and maybe all the way back down. We might come all the way back down to here one more time. So let's see what's going to happen. We get, if I get my first target out at 77.5, I'll lock in profit on the second half. All right, guys, look like I'm going to be hung in my little ES trade for just another minute or two. We are pushing up into a pattern 5 here over on pattern 5 coming into at 11:10 over on the Russell. In a little bit of an upside down position right now. We got a pattern 4, no entry, blah, blah, blah. No entry, no love here over on the crude. So I haven't had anything to do in a minute. As we're coming in, I am now, if we get a buying bar here, I'm going to sell the ES one more time. It's going to be my last signal of the morning. And yeah, we're back up well into the zone. I sold it twice. I sold it at the previous opener at the target level right there for the pattern 4. The market has pushed up higher, and now as we're coming into 11:10, if I can get a buying bar here at 11:10, then I'm going to sell it one last time. So I'm going to look for one last time, look for a move back down partially into the power zone, and we'll see where it goes. I think we're still going to roll over. This zone's going to be in play for a while. We just have a deeper pullback into it. It's going to be in play till 220. So I'm not going to sell it if it's a selling candle, but if we do end up with a buying candle here, I am going to sell it one more time, get my average price out, and see where we go. Volatility so far, we were projecting the volatility today on the ES to be 16 to 18 points, and looks like we hit 16.7. So I'd say that's in the range. So we hit our volatility range. Just always be aware that that's how market is likely to move. Into the sell time so far, I do not have a buying candle to get me a little low risk short entry there. Market's moving down right off the open of the candle at the selling time, and this one candle may be enough to get me out of this little overextension. See if the market's going to push down and retest the open price line from the last buy signal. If it does, that'll be my target 1 out of the way, and then pull these down. Looks like I might actually need them here. Willing to give it some room. Going to get target 1, then I'll lock in profit on number 2, and I won't lose anything. But again, I think we may end up rolling back over to the pattern 4 open price line. So give it a little bit of room there and see what we get. Oh, you suck. Really? One tick from, you're not going to do this to me. Look at that crap. One tick from my profit target. You suck. Come on, let's see where we're actually at here. Come on, this candle ain't closed yet. Push on down. Man, that sucked. I rather you say first. Never nicking frickin' no. Go. No business being up here. Hit that dumb target. What's the matter with you? I don't know about you guys, but it kind of helps me sometimes to talk to my computer when there's nobody listening. I talk to my trades. Come on, you piece of trash. Get up there and do your thing. Push on down. You know you want it. Can't believe that. One tick from my target. Oh, ah. That's a fucking chicken. Fucking die. All right. I'm one tick from the target. I got 50 seconds to close this bar. It's a hard selling candle into a selling time. Ron's not going to take a loss on the trade. I got out with a point and a quarter. One tick. I hate you. I hate you. Yeah, I got out. I'm not going to take any heat on it. It's going to plow right through my target now. You watch and see, because it hates me. Dumb market. Dumb. You got to admit, I don't care who you are. That right there is enough to piss you off. But you recognize it for what it is. It's going to have a selling bar at a selling time, which means at the close of this candle, there's a really good probability this market's going to go whizzing back up a little bit and then dip down again. So hang on tight. Ugh. All right, we had the buy signal after the sell signal, first bar up. I tell you what, if this ES pushes back down again, I might just sell that puppy. I think we're going to pop into a new low. We had the move, first bar back up, buying bar. Now let's see if we get a pop and a push down lower. Get below that open price line. We may move back into my first profit target. Taking this like a breakout trade. Still looking for the shorts for a while. So I waited, instead of just selling it at the close of the bar, I waited until we had a buying bar. And now I'm selling the bar on the other side of the buying bar, anticipating the market should push on down and push down below 41.7750. We come down and hit 77 3/4. I'm going to lock in profit. Crap, I just realized it's 11:15. Quarter after 11. Give that sucker a second to go. Let me take a quick peek at something just to make sure. What do we got? Any other econs out today? No. The Biden was talking earlier, blah, 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 blah. That's what I think about usually, that. Blah, 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 blah. Politician speaking, blah, blah, blah. So again, with today being March the 8th, see what we're going to keep going. Come on, we hit 77 1/4. Again, I'm going to lock in a little profit off of that price. That was where I was looking for my target earlier. I just didn't want to take the extra heat. We popped that number. It should run down pretty quickly after that. There it goes. So I'm going to get that off. Whoa, bam. Well, it gave me 4 points, but I was expecting a bigger punch through than that. I still got my number. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. But I was dead bound determined I was going to get my profit number. Right there it was. Bazinga! All right. Stupid market. All right, let's see. See what else we can find. I may not have anything else the rest of the day today. Did you get a little cash out of the market today, Anna? I don't think I'm going to have any other setups today. I haven't had a whole lot. Let's see where we are. Have I made any cash today? Should have made a little something. Sweet. That's all that matters. Good deal, brother. Good deal. Wow, I've had 12 trades today. It didn't feel like I had 12. I had to look it up. I've had 12 executions today. We're going to look at that in just a second. And according to that, it actually looks like I managed to make some cash. What do you know about that? Isn't that special? Hey, Colin, I'll drop you a note. All right. Well, I'm not going to get any other signals today. We're coming up into a sell time, counter trend, way counter trend. Oh, 11:25. I'm not going to trade anymore. Look at that dummy. Yes. Exactly what I thought it was going to do. Exactly what I pointed out it was going to do. I'm just too much of a coward to stay in it. I was willing to take my lumps and go. Piece of trash market. No. No. Throw the rotten tomatoes at Ron. I get it. Today is 3/8. Isn't it 3/8? Is today 3/8? Today is 3/8. And generate. So today, all right, we've had 12 trades today. Yeah, that matched the dome. All right, so we've had 12 trades today. I didn't think we'd had that many, but apparently we did. I didn't think it was 5 or 6. Didn't feel like 12. I lose track. So 12 executions today. 83.33% of the executions that we had today made some kind of cash. So 83% of them actually made some kind of money. Paid the man, or we had a profit factor today of almost 4. That's actually not a bad number. I'm pretty happy with that number. That's pretty good. And we had a commission. We paid $50.72 in commissions because we had 12 trades. So yeah, $4.50, 60 cents, whatever it is. So we paid $50 in commissions. We're going to end up our day with $1,631.78. Adding that to our March total. So far for the month of March, we're at $6,004.78 for the month of March. So far for the month of March, we've had 52 executions. Isn't that special? So since last week and this week, we've had 52 trades between the 2 weeks, or the week and change. almost 70% of those have made money, and our profit factor has been overall over the course of 52 trades, we've been a profit factor of a 2.3. So not a horrible number, making $6,000 so far for the month of March. So we'll see if March doesn't continue on and doing its thing. For today, we're going to close out our room today with $1,631.78. Thank you, everybody, for hanging around. Remember, sign up for Edge. We're going to go over some of the stuff that I probably don't cover in detail here in the room. I am going to cover in Edge, and I'm going to walk you guys through a methodology that what happens when you combine trend and counter trend, and how can you even out your equity curves, in addition to a really interesting new little tool that we're going to introduce to you guys. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. And especially for many of you who are looking for price confirmation, we are introducing the tool that's going to do that thing. So make sure you sign up for Edge. You don't want to be leasing the tool after the fact when you can come to Edge and you can get it as part of your attendance. So that's how it's going to work. So be smart with your cash and not crazy. Thank you, everyone. Again, if you have any questions about the Edge conference, don't hesitate to drop me an email. Let me know. And that's, again, only a couple of weeks away, so get your numbers in now. Thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow. Same channel, same time. We'll do it again. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.